Uh, since 2017, Greater Chennai Corporation has been trying to implement this source segregation, but to this date, we have not been able to successfully do that. So, since the beginning, what do you think are the challenges, especially for a larger scale exchange?
One is that almost 10 out of 15 zones have been privatized, and one of the zones, of course, due to some court cases, issues are pending, and the remaining 10 also, I think two of them are slated for privatization. So, one, we need to understand that garbage, the generation, which was around 500 grams per capita in the year 2000, has now gone up to 700 grams per capita. And people should be made to realize that, ultimately it is not utopian to seek segregation, but participation is very important for it to be successful. The reason is we had almost 62 lakh metric tons of legacy garbage we have in Kodungayur, and almost 30 odd tons of legacy garbage in metric tons of legacy garbage in Perungudi, out of which more than 12 to 15 metric tons we have successfully removed, biomined. Luckily, technology has changed. But and also we have got a number of areas where we process plastics in Madhavaram. We make furnace oil and other bricks out of it. Then we have got other areas where we handle. But the challenge is that while technology has changed to handle mixed garbage, biomining has allowed it to segregate. The ideal thing would be not to mix up and do. So gradually, while house to house collection has gone up to this report says we would be almost 85 to 90%. My hunch is that it should be in the range of 70 to 70. In reality, it will be in the range of 75 to 80%. Then house to house collection, people say it has come up to 65%. My hunch again is while house to house collection is 65%, the actual segregation within the 65% should be in the range of 35 to 40%. So we need multi-pronged approach, create more awareness. Sometimes poor people are segregating better than rich or middle class. So that concept, then they say the general question of some of the people is anyway you are mixing up in the end. So let us not find that as a reason not to follow what is ideal. So similarly, in public places also, again, in between a policy is no dustbin. That also is sometimes very extreme, because if it is a public place, it's a house, you can request. So we have gradually been improving, but we need greater amount of IAC to change the behavior.
Okay. Why do you think it has not been possible to strictly enforce the law in Chennai?
See, garbage handling, solid waste management is a participatory thing. So, despite while it is very easy to say that we have a fine system, while it is for easier to find bulk generators. When it comes to individual houses, in reality, it is very impractical. People find it so difficult that if you say that you have not done so, we have got the authority to find. So we have to mix up awareness to the point of change in behavior. So that is why under many schemes where clean mission or something we are involving. So we have to gradually involve self-help group and other people in that area. Like long back, Exnora made such initiatives. So these are the areas in which we will have to work on it.
We do have a micro composting center, material recovery centers, and like systems in place for it to work. Do you think there is a lag or disconnection?
No, in micro composting, again, linking up with people who can buy micro composting or windrow composting or like that, we need that what is coming out of it has to be utilized. So when we go for a segregated garbage, highly successful is getting gas out of it. And similarly, utilizing mixed plastic, getting it segregated, and either making furnace oil as we are doing in Madhavaram, and or for that matter, even in biomined areas, that is possible. But continuously converting into manure without proper avenue for selling is another area where we are having some challenges. So we are working out with various bodies. So let us see how it goes.
One of the things that the residents pointed out in areas like Koturpuram, where residents took initiative to segregate, create awareness and everything. After the private players came in, even the sanitary workers started mixing, as you mentioned. So that started discouraging them. We couldn't give that as a reason, but eventually that started discouraging. Do you think so? The residents in areas like Koturpuram who took self-initiative to segregate waste at source and also to create awareness among their neighborhood complains that after the private players came in, the sanitary workers started mixing it.
Sanity worker?
ஒர்க்கர்ஸ் அவங்க கலெக்ட் பண்றதெல்லாம் பின்ல மிக்ஸ் பண்ணிடுறாங்க வீட்ல
I
இது
think
பண்ணாலும். ஸோ
slightly it is ill-informed in the sense is that, my road I see. My neighbor, they give segregated and they have bins for segregated thing. So, having said that, let me be very clear is that that is not the reason for us to do. When you go, even when it goes to a landfill, we are able to segregate it. When you talk about vegetable waste, do you think only vegetable waste comes? So we also need to understand that with regard to garbage, there will always be, even in abroad, when you say so clean segregatable things, sometimes they wrongly people will put it into the other bin. So there will be always a percentage of mix up. So that should not be cited as a reason that I don't want to do. So I feel all of us should understand that garbage is my garbage, and we should take efforts to do and not worry about why other places. So obviously, from compared to the year 2000, I find that in 2023, the biomining and ability to look at historic garbage and convert it into sand, bricks, other products is remarkable. Somebody has to just visit Pedungudi, where we have just recovered 50 odd acres of thing. Of course, there is some more work to do under the below the ground level, but above the ground level, 50 acres we have recovered, and we are confident with the same process continue. Remaining areas also will do. So we should understand that things have improved, but there is definitely we have to do a lot more things. It's a labor intensive activity, and unless at source we do, everybody can put biomedical waste. Now every hospital is following the rules because they know that it can spread diseases. On garbage, we have to have that kind of acceptance among people and not identify. It's not an appeal. As a citizen, even I need to cooperate and coordinate. So I cannot say that just because others are, I will not do. If I do, then everybody will find that the progress is not that progress cannot be achieved. It will be very incremental, which is what you have been mentioning from 2017. But definitely, lot of improvements have taken place. But we still there is so much more scope for doing this localized awareness to the point of bringing change of behavior either way, including on waste handlers. It's not that it has to be only sermon to the public. So we also need to understand that considering the challenges, 19,042 odd people remove the garbage of 89 lakh people. So that people need to understand. Everybody says I am paying tax, but we need to understand that out of that tax only we have to do the street lighting. Out of that tax only we have to remove, and it takes almost 5,000 odd rupees to remove 1 metric ton of garbage. So if we all contribute, our own tax only is, the corporation doesn't have its own source of revenue. So whatever we all contribute, that comes back, so it can be more efficiently spent.
Right. How do you monitor these private contractors' work?
We have independent people who look at, one is on the quantity, second is key performance indicator. And very honestly, I'm telling you, definitely they have been doing a decent job. But that doesn't mean that, the contracts itself need to cover. For example, bulk generator, as per rule, they have to give. Similarly, we still have the challenges of people illegally dumping both garbage and debris on certain unauthorized spots. For that, we all need to change. We have put, let's say, cameras and all to observe. But still, these are work in progress. I can easily identify 25 spots where illegal dumping of debris is there, and debris removal is another person doing it. So these are things where we need more integration also.
Right. So the sanitary workers were recently protesting against privatization in 2 more wards. So what is your say on this?
Sanitary workers are?
They were protesting recently.
See, very frankly, anybody working, and if their work is likely to be adversely affected, they would protest. We have to respect that. But we need to tell them that it's not that we are going to remove them from service. We are going to utilize them in corporation in other areas which are needy. For example, more than 400 odd parks are outsourced because of lack of people. Similarly, health places require help. We need health centers require staff, additional staff, sanitation staff. Similarly, schools need sanitary staff. So we would, and similarly, non-privatized zones also need, there's a shortage of staff. So we this time would make a conscious effort to ensure that they are utilized in places where need is there. across departments of corporation. Second is they also are given an option that they can pick and choose to go, because the main protest many times is suddenly somewhere privatization is complete, means from that 10 zones oppositely post. So depending on, try to accommodate the request. If in other departments in the same zone which they prefer, if they get, that would be the first choice. And definitely we will assure them that, we should assure them that as far as their job security is concerned, they should not worry.
Okay. Do you think waste to energy plant is a solution to Chennai's garbage issue?
See, there are widely varying views, but there have been huge successes also in certain other international examples. So, but we have got people who are totally against waste to energy. Without looking that, sometimes Singapore and all have shown successful examples of that. They will say that it's of low calorific value and all. So this is subject matter which experts have to find out, come with a consensus, how and what could be, what quantum of garbage could be utilized, and what is a kind of, composition of garbage would be very effective in this dumping ground. So I would keep my fingers crossed on whether we get technologically competent people who are environmentally safe in their technologies, like they have shown in many international areas. And if they do it, subject to addressing the concern of people who raise valid objection about this model, would be the way forward. The other side is, we also need to understand that, people in Kodunguyur and Perugudi are not duty bound to suffer everybody's garbage. So when people say that, don't dump garbage in Perumudi, don't dump in Perumudi, don't do this project, don't do that project, they need to understand that suppose the same garbage is not removed from each other's house without a solution, what will happen? It can create a public health disaster. So we also need little bit of open mind. I always go back, I was DC Health in 1999-2000. The biggest regret I used to have is that time it used to be plain dumping. Now, when you look at biomining and the way they are able to, material recovery they are able to do, segregate it, the technology has come. So, unlike 2000, things have changed for the better. Similarly, waste to energy also, I am sure environmentally safe waste to energy concepts should be there, particularly which could address the kind of calorific value our garbage is there. These, of course, cannot be decided, or I cannot declare it here across the board, but I should await this, share it with people who have concerns in public hearing, or whenever such projects there will be a public hearing, and then go by what the experts and the people together take a decision on.